Yeah, to the first meeting of the City of Erie Planning Council for 2026. This is Tuesday, January 20th. We have a pretty full agenda, so we'll move through it. Cooper, will you do the roll call?
Yes. Commissioner Rich Spiker.
Here.
Commissioner Colin Russ.
Here.
Commissioner Douglas Bizarni.
Here.
Commissioner Carl Anderson.
Here.
Commissioner Jason Wazorek. Director, Bureau Chief Jackie Spry. And Assistant Planner and Secretary Cooper Moore, I'm here.
Thank you. First item is the approval of meeting minutes from December 16th, 2025.
Rich, if you can hear me, you're muted. I can't hear anything. I think the whole Zoom is muted based on the little muted thing on your microphone.
No, mine's lit up. All the commissioners have hot mics.
I think it's the Zoom that is broadcasting and muted.
I just sent it.
Can you hear us now?
Testing. Can you hear me?
Absolutely. Sorry to
Okay.
interrupt.
Thank you. The first item is approval of the December 16th, 2025 meeting minutes of the Planning Commission.
I'll move to motion to approve minutes.
All
I'll
right.
second.
Yeah, we have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Next item, have we received any public comment or correspondence?
We have not received any public comment or correspondence.
Is there any online attendee that wants to make a comment? Hearing none, we'll move on. Old business, saldo amendments.
Yes, we just wanted to inform the commission that in addition to the amendments that were passed last fall, we are working on another round of amendments to the saldo to include some things that have come up since we approved the last set of amendments. The big one to note is that we will be considering an amendment that would cover parking surfaces and considering those for land development review. At the moment, there's no language that includes parking surfaces.
So redevelopment into something other than parking surfaces or expansion modification of existing parking surfaces to change the,
Yeah, the creation of a new parking surface.
okay. So just covering it so that it falls into that change of footprint
Yes.
language that's in there.
Okay, thank you very much. Timeline for those to go forward?
Hopefully we will have the language for you to consider at next month's meeting.
Okay, thank you. All right, we'll move on to new business. First item is election of the 2026 chair and vice chair. We'll open the floor for any nominations that members might make.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I would move to nominate you as chair
Okay.
for the ensuing year.
All right.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to nominate me as chair. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, we'll move on. Okay, vice chair. Currently, that is Mr. Russ. Anybody, since you are technically a short timer,
Right, unless
Yeah.
reappointed.
so do either of you wish to be considered as vice chair?
Jason's not here.
I would nominate Mr. Douglas Bizarni as vice chair.
I will second that. Assuming you're willing to accept it.
Sure.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. That item is disposed of. Next item is...
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I would just like to say congratulations to both you as chair and the vice chair, I believe, for the ensuing year.
Thank you.
And we look forward to working with both of you.
We look forward to working with the entire commission. Next item, under new business, B, subdivision. There are two items. There's 602 West 9th Street by the Redevelopment Authority. Aaron.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
So 602 West 9th Street was an acquisition for demolition of a blighted property that used to reside there at the corner. We demolished the single-family structure along with two accessory structures on that property. Once we completed that work, certainly we have a side lot program. We try to identify property owners. This was a very unique shaped lot that had been carved out over the years. And so we worked with both the property owner on Cherry Street and the property owner behind the parcel on 9th Street and came to an agreement that we will seek a subdivision of the original parcel to then give that one little sliver of the parcel to do a combination deed on West 9th Street and then provide the homeowner on Cherry Street this rest of it, giving them a side yard and an additional few feet of rear yard. So, yeah, that's that subdivision.
Thank you. Any commissioner have a question?
So in our vote today, we're actually combining.
Just subdividing the original parcel. So then we'll do a sale and then combination deed to the respective owners.
Gotcha.
I'll move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Thank you. Now 221 Locust Street. So this was another single-family property acquired by the Erie Land Bank, ultimately demolished. Through working with the Land Bank Board, it was determined and decided upon by the board to subdivide this or seek a subdivision of this into two parcels so that two single-family properties, and they can be offered out for the development of two single-family properties. We had two potential development proposals on the property. One has since fallen out, but we have one viable development proposal for one lot that's on the table, and then if the subdivision is approved, we will seek an additional development proposal on another single-family build on the other parcel.
Good. Again, any questions or comments from commissioners? Hearing none, can we have a motion to approve?
I'll motion.
Second? We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Awesome.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much.
Okay, continuing on, land development. Three items. Item C is Grover Cleveland Elementary School. Is someone from HHSDR? Okay.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. My name is John Finn. I'm with HHSDR Architects Engineers. We've been the architects with the City of Erie School District for quite some time now, working through the many buildings that they have. And the next one that we have up here is the Grover Cleveland Elementary School. So we're here to present this development to you as our preliminary land development submittal. I know you've been submitted the drawings, but I'd love to take an opportunity real quick just to kind of walk through the need here and what is happening as part of the project and answer any questions you may have. Essentially, the existing building as it stands right now is in need of some renovations. There is no accessibility to the second floor. There is also HVAC that is failing, things of that nature that we need to address. So as a part of that process, the way we've done these projects with the district is in the phased construction manner. We've been able to, occupy a few classrooms with our contractors and shift those students to another location in the building, complete the work, and then just kind of shift the students back and move around. Unfortunately, at Grover Cleveland, there's nowhere to put the students. They are at capacity there. So we have proposed an addition to the building for a new gymnasium, as well as an elevator addition to allow us to have accessibility to all 3 floors now. The new addition will have a gymnasium and 4 classrooms and a restroom, which will allow us to build that first and use that for classroom swing space as we go through the existing building and renovate the balance of the area and move students in and out of that swing space as we work our way through the project. In general, that's kind of a nutshell, real quick overview of what the need of the project is, but I'll go into just a few drawings here just to kind of show you the overall, or unless, are these adequate enough up on the screen? I can work off of those as well. It's your choice. So you can see here we did get the property surveyed. We've had the ability to work with Laird here on what the existing conditions are. We looked through all of that, got our preliminary test borings, and understood what our bearing capacities are going to be as a part of the project. If you want to go ahead and zoom through there, Cooper. As I mentioned, this is going to be the proposed floor plan, or the proposed site plan. Over here on the east side of the building is where we will erect our proposed gymnasium addition. I can show you a quick floor plan of that. Essentially, the gymnasium is in the back side here, and then we have 4 classrooms up towards the front, towards 38. And then in this connecting corridor there, we'll have some restrooms and some lobby space that has the ability to be secured for after-hours use. But we also have restroom size for the gymnasium proper at that point. And then if you look back through here, the existing parking lot will remain. We'll be resurfacing that as a part of the project. We are going to be providing a new playground out behind the back of the gymnasium addition there. And then if you take a look towards the north side of the page there, back to 36th Street, we are proposing a connecting road. There's an existing walkway that goes back there now. We're going to be proposing that connecting road because of all the congestion that occurs on 38th during pickup. If you haven't seen that, it's pretty remarkable. So the new plan that the district has come up is to send the parent drop-off and pickup back to 36th, corral the cars along this roadway all the way to the front where they will conduct drop-off and pickup for their walkers and their car riders, and then exit out onto 38th, which should relieve the congestion out on 38th at that point. Okay. The existing parking lot off to the west side will be mill and resurface as well. We're trying to keep budget in mind for the district at that point. And then you can see a new proposed parking lot off to the north side of that northwest there. That proposed parking lot is an alternate bid. We do have enough parking spots in the existing count to meet the zoning requirements. However, if we can provide for a little bit more, that may be of some assistance to the district. So we're going to try and see, hopefully, some competitive figures come in here very soon, and we'll be able to accommodate that. So, from a stormwater management position, we've developed a some new detention basins. You can kind of see one to the northeast there behind the parking lot area where we will be directing the stormwater management from the gymnasium addition back to that location. And then obviously on the left-hand side, kind of the northwest there with our alternate bid parking lot, that is an alternate bid detention basin that will be sized appropriately for that parking area at that location. We do have new site lighting that will be included as a part of this project as well. Our electrical engineers are working through those lighting calculations and making sure that's all taken care of. We'll have some select walk replacements, and overall this new addition here on the east side will be about just over 14,000 square feet. The elevator addition is a little bit smaller to see, but it's right at the northernmost point of the existing building. That's where it has access to be able to touch all 3 floors of the existing building. So we'll have approximately a 200 square foot addition there just to house the elevator and its shaft. Okay. From a zoning info standpoint, that was all laid out on SP 1.1, but we do meet the required zoning requirements. We want to make sure that we did that, and we've spoken with Jake Welsh on a few occasions about those components to make sure that we are following along with the guidelines of the ordinance. The minimum lot area at 6,000 square feet, we're at 11.37 acres. Minimum front yard, we have a 44.7 foot setback, which is the 30 foot required. Rear yard is definitely achievable. We have 247.3 feet. The side yard, even with the addition at its 15-foot and 5-foot minimum, we are at a 45-foot setback on the east side there. The height, the maximum building height is 35 feet. The existing is actually 39, almost 40 feet, 39, 10 and 7/8. It's the existing component that's 3 floors, and that's because that third floor, that lower level, is accessible by grade down there. But our new proposed will be 34 feet, 10 inches with the new gymnasium addition there. Okay, and we do meet the lot coverage at 16% versus the required, 35% there. Parking-wise, our base bid will be 128 spaces. If we do accept the alternate bid, we would be able to expand that to 167. And the 38 spaces is what we were able to calculate from the overall requirement as far as what the ordinance was pointing us to with the elementary school building at that location. From the other submittals that we have submitted this to the MPD, or for our MPDS permit to the Conservation District. Tom Ravak right now is actually out on a surgery, so we'll be getting his final comments back here shortly. But we do have a letter stating that we've been substantially, administratively complete with that. We've had multiple conversations with him during the design to go over what our plans were. From stormwater management, I think we are waiting for the final approval from the city, but I had a chance to meet Mr. Helmick out on site and kind of walk and talk him through what we were thinking. So once we have their final comments back, we'll be establishing any changes into the drawings and making sure that gets taken care of. Sewer module wise, we reviewed that with the city as well. Because of our changing over the fixtures, we have a lower sewage flow as well as a lower water usage because we are switching over to a higher efficiency fixture throughout. So we will have that as well. And then our water authority is going to be something that is going to be the same services coming in as before. The one thing we have not established yet and that we're working on right now is actually the covenant with the city for the stormwater management. We're developing the budget for that so that we can establish the covenant to be with the district so that we can take care of that final aspect. So. Sorry, I threw a lot out there. I've been rehearsing it. So, but any questions that I can answer, gentlemen? We are, as it stands right now, we are proceeding with the bidding process. BIU has had our drawings and given us some feedback, so we're working through those components, the few that we got back, and we'll be handling those items and getting them taken care of as well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anybody on the commission have questions or concerns to express?
Mr. Chairman, I would just have some comments to offer. First of all, I thank you for your presentation.
Yes,
and commend the school district for their vision and planning in this particular situation. I think it's been a long time coming, particularly on West 38th Street, for the safety of the students in particular and the community at large. For the congestion on West 38th Street. And that alone, I think, is a tremendous improvement to the community,
thank you.
including all of the other elements that you talked about. I think Grover Cleveland has become even more important to the west side of this community, particularly with the closing of Blessed Sacrament. And just keeping in mind, I believe we'll continue to expand with students. Having adequate classroom space for the expansion of the student base over there, keeping that in mind.
Yes, sir.
For the school district. So, but thank you for your proposal and for the planning of the district.
It's absolutely our pleasure. Yes.
So you had mentioned that some of the changes include, obviously, improved efficiency fixtures for water and lighting stuff. With the state's budget that they actually managed to pass, there was additional funding for solar for schools. I'm curious if there's been any consideration or discussion about addressing overall energy efficiency or developing on-site power generation to offset facilities consumption, considering the expanded footprint and just the size of existing rooftops.
The school district has not considered that as a part of this project alone. I know that they've had some considerations, and I'm not privy to those, and I wouldn't be able to comment directly on that. What I can say is, as far as the what is happening is in this building, is the lighting that is getting switched out is going to be switched over to all new LED, replacing the old fixtures. The new rooftop units will be replaced with high-efficiency units as well. The existing HVAC is all powered by unit ventilators in each individual room, which they're all failing. They're all, getting old at that point. So from the situations that this project is involved with, energy efficiency is required, and we are pursuing that to make sure that we're meeting the energy code, the new energy code requirements for the renovations and construction.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions? Then-
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Could I just add on to Mr. Russ' comments, that there has been a pretty aggressive program with the state, and I believe that they have met previously with the school district, tried to meet with other entities around Erie County, and a conversation with the regional director of the governor's office may be worthwhile. Because there may be some opportunities there through Harrisburg.
And I can certainly deliver that message back to the district for sure.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Just on the city's end, this project has been reviewed by city staff. There were no issues raised from the zoning offices, but I believe there are some outstanding comments and approvals from the engineers about some permits and things, but this is preliminary approval, so those would all be addressed before we see this project again for final approval.
Okay.
And those comments, nothing earth-shattering, just housekeeping type stuff?
Waiting on some permit letters and things, yeah.
Well, they'll need to be addressed
For it to get
before
any
it
further.
moves on.
Yes.
And I
So our
trust it
intention
will
would
be.
actually be to get them addressed within the next week or so.
Yeah.
Like I said, we'd like to bring this back in February, actually, for the final,
Okay.
if it's possible, yeah.
Good, thank you.
So, thank you all. Appreciate your time today.
Do we need to, is this a vote?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll move to grant preliminary approval plan.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor signify by saying aye, please.
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item is McInnes Rolled Rings, CEC.
Hello, everybody. This is Steve Caruso with CEC, here representing my client, McInnes Rolled Rings. We're here for our final land development approval. We have received all of our necessary permits and approvals, and I've been working with the city on getting all those necessary documents that were required. I believe there were only 2 housekeeping items left, a lot consolidation plan, which McInnes is finalizing, and then there was a letter of credit for proposed stormwater infrastructure that McInnes would actually have to provide as well. Just to give it a little bit of a status on the project and construction, we recently had a pre-construction meeting with the Erie County Conservation District that went really well, so we're kind of giving the go-ahead on construction. We're starting construction, so the intent initially here for this year would be mostly earth moving with the site and stormwater infrastructure building happening most likely next year. So like I said, we just have a couple housekeeping items that we're currently finalizing and should have that to the city soon. If there's anybody has any questions on the plans, any of the permits or approvals, or any other questions, feel free to ask.
I would just say it's great to see this one actually coming, moving forward through the process. We saw this a couple months ago, so it's nice to see more of these development projects actually getting through. So thanks for the update.
Good, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any of the other commissioners have questions or comments?
No.
Nope. Well, great. So this will be a final approval, correct?
Yes, this will be the final land development approval. Again, the city staff has reviewed the project, and there were no issues raised from any department or bureau.
All right, Thank you very much. All in favor? No.
I'll motion to issue approval of, final approval.
Yeah.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second, sorry. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. I think you might be the first project to have gone all the way through. So we appreciate your and McInnes's diligence in following up. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Oh. Is Jason on the meeting call?
Yes,
Okay.
he is online.
So,
Yep, I'm here.
Okay, can we recognize him then as being in attendance?
yes,
Thank you.
thank you.
Yep.
Yeah,
But I just heard him vote, that's why I wanted to make sure we recognize it. Thank you.
Third item under land development, 263 West Front Street, McErie Properties. This is for a final approval?
This is a preliminary land development.
Oh, preliminary
They just
land
received their waterfront conditional use from city council and are here for land development.
Okay. Someone here to speak?
Good afternoon, Rich and
Hi.
board. This is Steve from Laird's.
Yes.
Cooper, if you could scroll down just a little bit so we can see the plan, I'll go through it there. Thank you. In front of you today is our preliminary land development plan for McErie Properties. As I said, I'm Steve with Laird's representing McErie Properties. They are proposing, which I believe you've seen on the waterfront conditional approval, 2 buildings, 30-unit residential development on the southeast corner of West Front and Myrtle Street. 1 unit will front along Short Street containing 19 units. The other will front on Myrtle containing 11 units. The plan that you see in front of you has been elaborated a little more on probably since the last one that you've seen. We now show a stormwater management system and underground infiltration system that kind of stretches through the parking area. Will be connected back into the city's MS4 system in Myrtle Street. We show the required landscaping, and you'll see some noting there that shows that it has to be in accordance with sections of the city's ordinance. We have submitted this plan to the city for engineering approval. The sanitary sewer usage has been submitted to the city for approval, and it is under an acre, so will not be required to obtain a NPDES permit, but we have provided, along with this package, an ENS set of plans and narrative. If there's any other questions, I'd be happy to answer them, but that's a brief synopsis of this project.
Any questions from any of the commissioners?
Nice to see some more residential getting built. This is exciting.
Yeah. I
Any
agree.
issues, Cooper?
There were no issues raised from the zoning office. As Steve said, I think there's a couple of outstanding approvals from the engineering side, but those will of course be addressed before we accept a final application for the commission to review.
Okay. Well, I'm ready to make a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion for preliminary approval.
Okay. Second?
I'll second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, approval, signify by saying aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Yep, you too. Rezoning, there is none at the moment. Okay, waterfront conditional use. Item E under new business, this is Bayfront Place, AC Marriott, WMF. That's you.
Afternoon, gentlemen. Brian Weber, Weber Murphy Fox Architects, here to talk to you a little bit about the Phase 2 for the Harbor Place development for Scott Enterprises. Cooper, if you want, do you have the master plan document that we can go through? I think Sarah would have
The one that I
emailed it to you.
emailed you earlier today?
Right. Just want to do a quick introduction to this. It's been a while. Those of you who remember, we first introduced this master plan for Harbor Place back in 2015. And we got the phase one completed, which is the Hampton Inn and Suites. And that was completed right around 2018, 2020, right before COVID came. And it's been a while. So now here we are coming back to phase two for this. Let's go ahead and just move forward if you don't mind, Cooper. So, you know, Harbor Place and the waterfront is a very important piece of Erie's vision for redevelopment of the city. Destination Erie talked about it. Obviously, we've gone through this quite a bit for the initial phases for this. So it remains to be a very important and critical part of Erie. And here we are going to talk about phase two. So let's go ahead and go forward a few slides here, Cooper. Keep going, please. We'll go all the way to the finish of phase one. So as we know it today, one more slide, please. As we know today, this is phase one. As it stands down at the bayfront today, we have the Hampton Inn Suites, obviously Oliver's Rooftop, the beer garden, and the mini golf. And we have a series of surface parking. At this point, what we're looking to do is develop the next phase, which is going to be phase two, and additional surface parking along with this as well. Let's go ahead and fast forward all the way down to phase two for a little while here. Keep going, there we go, that's a good one. So for phase two, we're looking at an AC Marriott hotel, which is going to sit adjacent to the Hampton Inn Suites, just like the original master plan had it. We're looking at adding a rooftop restaurant to this, similar to Oliver's Rooftop, as well as an event center, which will be on the 7th floor of this. So basically 2 rooftop venues for this hotel. The hotel will be 8 stories, same height as the Hampton Inn Suites, and will have about 140 rooms. This is then phase 2 of the hotel, of the Harbor Place master plan. And Cooper, if you don't mind, let's just scroll all the way to the end of this presentation, and let's go to the final master plan slide up this one. So Harbor Place is envisioned as about a 7-phase project to happen over time. We are today only at phase 2. And part of that development includes the 2 hotels, so this will be the second and final hotel for the site. A series of commercial office space, which you'll see there in the purple in the diagram, a series of retail spaces, which are shown on the red, which are primarily along the first floor, development happening on the north and south side of Front Street, and really turns Front Street into that main street with these spaces, this retail and this commercial overlooking and spilling out. A lot of open space and public amenity space, including ice rinks, including splash fountains, including linear parks, flexible open space grass parks, and of course improvements to the walkway along the water's edge, and looking at housing out at the end of Holland Street Pier. For these future phases, for us to get to phase 7, it's going to be really important for us to get to some structured parking for this. That's not included currently in phase 2. And phase 2 is about as far as this project is going to be able to go without structured parking. So what we are looking at is pushing phase 2 forward with the surface parking that we need for the development. And at the same time, we are approaching different funding opportunities to get the first parking garage built. And the first parking garage is the one you see here in the bottom of your screen, wrapped with the purple commercial space that sits on the corner of State Street and Bayfront Parkway. That'll provide about 500 parking spaces. And if that's completed, then we will not have to do the surface parking that's going to be required for us to get this the second hotel finished. Currently, the second hotel was approved for CRIZ funding from the city here. It's right now down in Harrisburg being voted on, and we're hoping that phase 2 CRIZ funding that'll happen this coming year will include then the parking garage. And if those come to fruition, then this parking garage can actually be built before the completion of this hotel. If it doesn't, then we'll have the surface parking, which is what we're going to present to you today. So that's the update of the Harbor Place master plan in general. And since we're going to be skipping around some slides, I'll stop there to see If you all have any questions about the master plan, any specifics that you want to cover before we move on to the hotel itself.
Any of the commissioners have questions?
Mr. Chairman, I commend you for the vision and the continued development on the Bayfront, certainly critical to our community. But with the construction of the Bayfront Parkway and all the work that's going to be done in your area and the congestion that's there now, how are you envisioning and working with the city and how that's going to continue to be able to have that flow of traffic through that area during this period?
Well, that's a good question, and I think it's one of the reasons why it's good for us to be taking this a bite at a time, because to develop this whole thing would be a huge interruption to the bayfront and the waterfront and the city in general. At this point, what we're talking about is probably beginning construction on this, beginning the initial site work here in mid to late summer of this year, and then constructing over the next 2 years for this hotel. Again, we have enough site here that almost all of the staging, all of the material supply and storage is going to happen on site and out of the public right away. We don't see any interruption to Front Street. All the construction will happen off of that. What we did, which was great for phase one, is phase one put in pretty much all the infrastructure and roadways that was required for the master plan. So now the continuation of that master plan will have less interruption to public utility, public right-of-way, and other infrastructure.
Thanks. That's a great answer, and because I think the community is going to be very, very concerned.
Absolutely.
Because it's a real congested situation down there at this particular point. So,
Right.
But we'll, as tough Erie people do, we'll survive it. And again, congratulations on continuing to move forward.
Okay. Absolutely.
Other questions at this point?
This is for Cooper. When the Hampton Inn was being approved, there was a requirement, the height variance was granted with condition of a minimum green space allocation. Have we confirmed that that was in fact adhered to and met?
Yes, I believe the variance is still accepted.
No, I know that the variance, I'm saying, before the green space being met. Was that the public green space piece?
Yes.
All right.
And we can, if you want to move on to the slide that talks about parking and the open space that was emailed to you today?
Yeah.
As well, that it'll
was
be
a
a separate file code. Okay. So this is the open space and parking that we're looking at for phase two, and it combines it. So every time that we talk about adding to Harbor Place, what happens is obviously pieces that were there prior get altered or modified, new pieces are added. So every time we look at the next phase, we look at the whole thing cohesively. So we want to look at the open space cohesively, we want to look at the parking requirement cohesively. So as you can see, what we're looking at here for the open space, phase one, at the end of phase one, we needed about 25,800 square feet of open space, which was provided. At the end of phase two, we'll have 29,400 square feet that's going to be required. And what we're proposing is providing a total of 77,000 square feet by the end of phase two. And there's some conversations that have happened. A big part of our open space was planned for the area that was taken by eminent domain by PennDOT. Our previous discussions was that 21,505 would be subtracted from the requirement. However, we don't necessarily need that. And this open space that we're showing is the amount of open space that's going to remain in and around phase two once we're complete. And this doesn't even begin to address what's happening at the end of Holland Street Pier as well, which has an even additional space for more open space as this master plan continues. So every step of the way, we're planning for that open space through a combination of public ways, sidewalk improvements, plazas, open space, green space, flexible green space, everything except, of course, parking lots anything that's not within the public right-of-way either. So this plan does not count for anything that's sitting within the public right-of-way. So any sidewalks and green space that we created within the right-of-way itself is not even included in this plan. So we have every bit of confidence that we'll be able to meet all the open space requirements that were promised when we did the variance request back in 2015. For parking, that's the next piece to talk about here. Yeah, as you can see with this plan, I think what certainly bothers everybody, including the developer, including the public, is going to be the amount of surface parking that's required down here. And so, unfortunately, it's a necessary evil until we get to the steps of being able to provide those structured parking garages. So at this point, we're looking at expanding that parking to accommodate, again, not just the AC Hotel, but also all of the pieces that came before that, and looking for those parking requirements, and then providing about 386 total parking spaces down here. We are looking at, as we do our parking count, we are looking at combining the Oliver's rooftop as well as the new Oliver's rooftop restaurants at about a 50% count, because 50% of that is included in the hotel guests themselves, which is where their guests come from, and 50% from the public, which is how we come up with the number. This also helps us just overall reduce the amount of surface area that's going to be paved down there and the amount of surface area that's not going to be able to be used by the public. So we want to increase that by looking at this way of getting the maximum amount of parking that we can down there, but also keeping the maximum amount of space available for the public and creating a positive, attractive space for our waterfront in this phase too.
So I know I'm going to dramatically oversimplify this question. The proposed raised parking structure would essentially be in the footprint of that 240 space lot?
Exactly.
Give or take.
Exactly.
Now, it's that footprint, but that footprint also includes an office building.
Right, yeah, that's.
Potentially.
That's right. And what you'll see
Yeah.
is if you look at that footprint, directly south of the hotels where you see that half oval shape that's sticking out, that half oval shape is the future ice rink and splash fountains, which will be a large public plaza. And that'll attach to a linear park that goes south from there and actually attaches then to that area, the green space that's remaining from what PennDOT took. For a trail system. The idea here is that we develop this trail system that comes in, travels north through this, and continues all the way up to Oliver's Beer Garden and the waterfront. So if that parking garage comes in, not only do we replace this surface parking with the parking garage and the office space and retail that Rich was talking about, but we also eliminate a big portion of that, probably a quarter to a third of that parking, and give it back to park space. So it's very important to get those parking garages in here, I think, for the community and for the vision as a whole.
I'm a big fan of going up, not out, so.
Yeah.
Other questions at this point? Brian, any other comments related to the conditional use approval?
No other comments to the conditional use approval. I'm happy to go through the packet that we provided for you. I think is in front of you. Most of you have seen. It talks about the hotel itself, gives you some renderings, gives you some more site information, and I'm happy to elaborate on any of those, but I don't also want to take any additional time.
Yeah, well, you're going to be back, so it's,
We'll be back.
yeah. Get a chance to be clubbed later.
This is just preliminary approval then?
No, this is a waterfront conditional use.
Oh.
They applied for that, so assuming there is a positive recommendation, it will go to council for
Yes, that's correct.
their consideration and approval.
Yeah. I'll send a letter to City Council with the Planning Commission's recommendations and comments.
Yeah.
And City Council will schedule a public hearing and then make their decision after that.
So I'll move to recommend to council approval.
Okay?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Hooper, will you note that I have abstained? Thank you. Good. Thank you very much.
Great, thank you.
I
Cooper,
look forward to you to come
this
back.
was the pre-sketch as well for the Saldo, correct? Okay.
Thanks. All right, moving on. Page over, no blighted property designations this month. Ms. Spry, want to talk about Department of Planning and Neighborhood Resources updates?
Good afternoon, Commissioners.
Good afternoon.
Just get my things situated here. So first I wanted to just make sure that you were aware that we've had some internal structural changes. So our Planning and Neighborhood Resources is now called the Bureau of Planning and Zoning. And we lie within the umbrella of Department of Neighborhood and Economic Development, yes. And so it's a bit of an umbrella with neighborhood and economic development, and the three bureaus, Bureau of Planning and Zoning, and I'm going to have trouble with these names now, Bureau of Building Inspection and Safety, and Bureau of Department of Grants, Department of Economic and Community Development Grants, sorry. So we've had a little bit of change, but zoning is now with planning, which makes great sense. And also wanted to mention that tomorrow I believe you received an invitation for our informational session for our saldo amendments. We've invited around 130 invitees. They're civil engineers, developers, land surveyors, and architects to this informational session tomorrow at noon. If you can attend, it's a virtual session. We would very much encourage the commissioners to be present to understand more of the process internally, how we're reviewing these projects, and the time frame and the policy that we've put in place. So if you can make it, that'd be great tomorrow. Also, I wanted to inform you, if you haven't seen already, that we did receive $20 million for the Safe Streets and Roads for All implementation grant. So that was really exciting. And we're working through just sort of the preliminary things right now with the federal government, but that award, part of it was for supplemental planning, so $400,000 for road safety and audit of priority intersections in the city, $75,000 for finalizing the city's complete streets policy, $75,000 for establishing a traffic calming program, and $50,000 for data analysis of lane departure crashes. And then $19.4 million was awarded for implementation, focusing on two major projects, a road reallocation project and expansion of our Safe Routes to Schools initiative. So that was a very big grant that we received, and we're very excited to be able to work through with planning and engineering and the new administration, work through how we're going to be implementing that on our high injury network. I also wanted to remind you that I believe before the first of the year we spoke about the municipal assistance grant that we did not receive for our zoning and saldo rewrite. However, we discussed potentially applying for another one of those MAP grants through the state for comprehensive plan. And I believe you were going to submit a letter asking for the administration to consider that request.
That's right.
Yes. I just wanted to send a friendly reminder for that. Also, I know that Cooper is working on, or he has a draft annual report for you, for the Planning Commission, that we'd like to submit to council and to the mayor, and at the next meeting that we'll make sure to put it in the minutes that that annual report was submitted. Also wanted to throw out to you the potential for training this year again. I know we brought in a trainer about a year ago, and I think it'd be a great idea for us to bring in somebody again to talk about the role of the Planning Commission, now that we have these new amendments with Saldo, potentially what that means for the Planning Commission, just moving forward and how we would continue to progress here on this board. So we can talk through that if you're interested in that. We'd be happy to reach out to some of the connections that we've made in the last couple of years to bring training specifically to our board here. I know there was one more thing about training. Do you have any questions? Yes.
Well, I think one of the members brought up the idea of a discussion relating to items of interest and goals for the Planning Commission for the coming year. And so I think it would be appropriate to perhaps schedule a special meeting for that to occur.
Sure. In terms of priority and goals, can you explain a little bit in terms of what you want to focus on for the upcoming year, or how you might improve the processes that you have in place?
Probably all of it. I think that we have relatively new members with Mr. Pizzarni and Mr. Anderson, who are members of the commission, and hopefully we'll have some additional members nominated relatively soon that we can both address items of interest to the commission members about what they would like to, what they think is important for the commission to consider moving forward, but also understanding how to improve processes that happen within the commission. I think that we're all feeling our way through as we establish land development approval processes and how all the pieces dovetail.
Sure.
And I think that one of the concerns that's been expressed is that that these can happen as expeditiously as possible, so as not to impede progress in improving the city.
And I'll piggyback on that, since I was the one harassing Rich about sort of priorities. I think where I was coming from for it was largely just last year we made a tremendous amount of progress, more than the commission has in I think any time. And the goal is, how do we keep building on that momentum and keep doing as much as possible to support the ongoing development and growth of the city.
I apologize, Mr. Chairman. I'm going to ask for your indulgence. As a member of my staff, I feel like I can come up and speak for Jackie. So if you don't mind, introducing myself, I'm Daria Devlin, Mayor of the City of Erie. I want to thank you for that suggestion and just say I sat this morning actually with Jackie and Cooper to talk about all of the kind of comprehensive approach to land development and improvement we need to do in the City of Erie to further the goals of the City of Erie. So I would very much welcome an opportunity to sit and talk with all of you about my administration's goals, about where we're going in terms of city development and the critical role that you all play in that. So I think a special meeting would be wonderful. We're also, I know, Councilwoman Schaaf is here. We're going to be talking to City Council about a study session specifically on Saldo so that they can get kind of some baseline information. City Council's been great with this new president and vice president to set up regular study sessions, and we're going to help them build those agendas. So I think if we can have that opportunity and then an opportunity to sit and talk with you about our goals, what you need from us, how we're all aligned, this is how we really move the city forward. So thank you for that suggestion. I would very much welcome it. Thank you. Thanks for your indulgence.
Thank you.
And welcome to a meeting.
If you would like to hold a special meeting, don't forget that you have to make a motion to call for a special meeting and take a vote.
Okay.
Go ahead. Lastly, I just wanted to mention that we are still working on our parks plan, and we are wrapping up the engagement piece of that plan this month. We've been talking to many of our stakeholders, including some of our third-party providers for programming, as well as different entities that potentially could be working with the city for programming. So that is on its way to the second or third phase, I believe, of the plan, which is the recommendations phase. So I hope to have something to you in the next couple of weeks based upon the recommendations of our consultants.
Okay.
So, thank you.
I wanted a quick comment or compliment to you and your staff. I've spoken to a number of people who signed up for the newsletters that team's sending out, and they have just been, I love what the information they're getting there, incredibly insightful, informative. And I've spoken actually to a couple members of county council who said that they would love to see something like that adopted at the county-wide level. So
Great.
just really great job, great feedback that I've heard from people. So keep up the great work.
Thank you. Hannah Oleski, who's here in the audience, she takes the lead on that. And yeah, we've had good feedback. In fact, the last newsletter we sent out, there were several people who contacted Matthew Falcone because of the Keystone grants. So several different organizations who are interested in applying for Keystone grants. So thank
Fantastic.
you. Yeah.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I'd also like to offer some comments to
Sure.
Director Spry to congratulate her and her staff on, particularly on the award of the grant for the roads, what your department does and what you will continue to do under this new umbrella and this new administration in the future is critical to the future of our community and to our community's success. So I congratulate you and all of your staff for the work that you do. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate that. I think it's,
And Mr. Chairman, I would offer a motion to call for a special meeting to meet with the mayor, the new mayor and their staff at their convenience and under the agenda that they would like to have in a special meeting with our commission.
okay. Second?
Second?
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? There being none? It's approved. All right. Last item, adjournment.
Nope. We're just going to sit here. We got
Everybody
2 more
wants to
minutes.
stay.
I'll make a
Warm room. Motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
One of these days I'm going to get a no. I'm just going to sit here, make the stream keep going. Just have to sit here.
It doesn't have to be unanimous.
I'm at least going to oppose.